Hello everyone and welcome back to another video here today and some more league racing action. And currently PSGL is on ice. We're currently on a break week, so this time it's WOR. We've got back-to-back races and this one is going to be at Portimao, so very happy about this one, very excited, and I can't wait to have a little bit of fun. So first of all, if you haven't seen the previous race, then go check it out. I'll leave a link up in the top right. It does contain possible spoilers, so do check that one out before we jump into this one. But here are the championship standings heading into today's race. Now then, first of all, on the calendar, if you look on the right side of the screen, I can tell you Saudi Arabia has been replaced with Abu Dhabi due to a couple of bugs that have been found. So the next few races are going to be Abu Dhabi, Monza, or in this case, I think Imola actually, because I think we're going to do the DLC, and also Brazil. So those are going to be the final three races of the season. For this one, though, we're here at Portugal. So right now, we're going to jump into qualifying. And of course, in WOR, we do full qualifying. So Q1, Q2, and Q3. Recently, I've struggled to get out of Q1. So we're going to see if that is the case here today, as we straight away get down to business with an invalidation on our very first lap on the mediums. Luckily, Portugal tyre wear is pretty low, so you can go usually for a second push lap, and that's what we've done here in this case. You can see here on my second lap, we're looking a lot better, and no invalidation so far as we clear some traffic at the final couple of corners. Not a good lap, but none of my laps are going to be good tonight. We're going to be focusing on the race, hopefully. Now you can hear me say my focus is on the race, and the reason for that is because I've not practiced. I was so busy I didn't get a chance. It's not a million miles off. And it's just complicated. Also, I am kind of out of the running, you know, in PSGL and WR for any kind of like decent position, so the motivation isn't quite there to like push as much as I want to. But even still, I tried pushing, and but yeah, I just wasn't able to practice because I've been so busy on this Sunday that I just didn't get a chance to really put some laps in. So yeah, I was pretty much using the session itself as practice. All I've done was 5 time trial laps before the lobby started. So yeah, we used the mediums to get a banker in, now we're on the soft tyres. I want to try and go for a second push lap. Probably ain't going to work, but... And across the line we go. 116.2 high, 296 to be exact. And I did say I wanted to go for a second push lap, but the second push lap didn't exactly go according to plan. As you'll see right here, we just lock up into turn 2 and get it all wrong. That mistake. And that mistake pretty much meant it was the end of qualifying. I was a passenger for the final runs in Q1, and luckily plenty of cars behind me who were on for improvements made mistakes, so we scrape into Q2 with a very average lap, to be fair. My personal best here is a 15.6 a couple of months ago, and before that I could usually do 15.9s quite consistently. So into Q2, mediums back on the car again. We'll go for a second one. Hopefully should be okay on the old battery. Well, it's better than the Q1 lap. Now, like I said, tyre wear is pretty low, so first lap 17.1 on medium, which is actually better than our previous Q1 attempt on the same tyre. You know, at this stage I've done 3 qualifying laps on this compound. Even then I went for another push lap, so my 4th lap on these tyres, my second one in Q2, and I invalidate. Ah, damn it. Now what I'm going to do is I've got enough fuel on board, so I'm actually going to turn the car down, save the tyres, and again go for another lap, because the mediums do last around here. You can see here we're on a really good lap, 4 tenths up right now. Shame I invalidated, because this would have been a pretty decent lap for mediums, to be fair. Considering Yana did a mid-16 in Q1, that would have been like a 0.7 actually. So yeah, we was on for a 116.7, which is not bad at all, to be honest with you, to say that would have been our 4th lap on the mediums. Nonetheless, we had to put the soft tyres on, and everyone else is trying to get through on mediums. I know I don't have the pace, so I'm trying to get through on softs. I don't really care about starting on them. I'll deal with the race, you know, when that comes round. I just want to make sure I'm in Q3 in the top 10 and clear of most of the pack, so we don't have to do loads of overtakes, because overtaking here is very difficult. So track position is very key. We do a 116.375, which ain't great, to be honest. I know you want to be starting the race on mediums, but I don't really care, to be honest. I just want to have a bit of fun, so we'll make it into Q3 if I want to. So yeah, like I said, we are prioritising the race, and to do that, I just want to be in the top 10 to start with, and then I'll kind of deal with it, you know, when it comes round to it. First up, though, like I mentioned, 16.3. You know, we done a 16.296 to get through in Q1, so we're a little bit off the pace. I went for a cool down lap and a second push lap, I believe. And actually, no, I think it's actually an set of tyres, to be fair, because I wanted to have decent tyre wear. And yeah, this is a new set. So you can see here, we find loads of time, especially in the final sector. And this is much more like it. It's not perfect, you know, it's not ideal, but it's going to shave off about 2.5 tenths and bring us at least into the 16.1s as we run across the line here. And there we go, 16.1. The pace ain't great, but listen, we're in Q3 somehow, so... And you can hear me say somehow we're in Q3. That was the last lap of the session. Everyone done their laps. Worth noting, Ulas Zildurim has a 5-place grid penalty. Eduardo Leo 16.1 on medium, and then Jarno fastest with a 15.5. So it does seem like since the latest patch with the brake bias change and the handling adjustments over time, this track is a bit quicker because my PB was a 15.6 and that was only a one-off lap. I usually always do 15.9s and I'm only 2 tenths off that with no practice. So I do think the track is a bit quicker nowadays than what it once was. In Q3 though, we used a scrub set for our first lap. Oh, that's a bad lap. Fucking hell. You can hear me say that is a bad lap as that was way off the pace. I tried to push on for a second push lap on those tyres, and to be fair, it wasn't going too badly, but I decided to make a big mistake. You can see there down the hill, and any advantage that I'd gained has gone away pretty much, and to the point where even now in sector 3 I actually kept on losing time because the tyres at this point are starting to get a bit hot. I'm running out of battery, and I was not even really improving. I was pretty much equal, so I'm actually going to just go into the pits and abandon the lap time. So that leaves us with our final set of tyres. 3 minutes to go, so I've given myself time for another lap if necessary, but let's see if we can nail it on our first attempt. So DRS open now, down to turn 1, 6th gear, possibly 5th, but usually 6th. Spot the braking, bring the car onto the left curb at the 50 turn in. Try to take a bit more inside curb than I do. Luckily we do get some decent momentum and carry some very decent mid corner speed. Turn number 2, the hairpin, then up to through turn 3, carrying the speed over the top of the hill. And that was a very good first sector, as we set a 21.65. Very decent, purple in the first sector. Down to the hairpin, we do just catch the left front and pull a bit of a lock up. We do luckily have some decent exit speed and traction, but I lost a little bit on the apex there at that corner. Into the double rights, very easy to lose the back end through here. Be patient on the exit, use all the runoff curb. And we actually nailed that, to be fair, as we're north of 4 tenths, nearly half a second up at the end of sector 2. Using all the gearing tricks from 2nd straight up to 5th to try and get the drive down the hill. Didn't really find too much time there, but still half a second up into the final sector. Didn't quite catch the apex there, but we're still, you know, making good headway here lap time wise as we make our way through the last brake zone, the last serious corner here, and we're over 6 tenths up here. And I think if we keep it tight enough, we're going to just about creep into the 15s here. So a decent lap, to be fair. Across the line, it's a 15.8, and that is a PB for me. Pretty decent. It's pretty much as good as it gets, to be honest. I've got time for one more. I'm just going to coast. I can get one more lap in, but I'm pretty happy with that, to be honest. Pretty much perfect for what the practice I've done. And you can hear me say they're pretty much perfect for the practice I've done. Obviously, a lot of track evolution in Q3, and the whole time, Shanaka Clay 115.394, Eduardo Leo P2, Jarno P3, and bear in mind, Shanaka and Jarno are going to be very on pace because obviously they've done it in esports a couple of days ago, and this was about a week ago we've done this race, so they would have been, you know, on the money with practice and very fast. So this pace isn't just like a one-off league race. This is legit esports pace. And the fact I was only, you know, half a second off, to be fair, and 4 tenths off Jarno, I was very happy with that, considering I didn't practice, and I think there was more time in the lap, to be honest with you. So overall, not too shabby. Reminder that Ulas in P7 has a 5-place grid penalty, so we are going to start the race from P7. So let's jump into it, and let's turn this one into hopefully some decent points. Now then, we jump into the race. 5 lights ahead of us, soft tyres on, so we need to try and be aggressive if possible as we're underway for the Portuguese Grand Prix, and off the line from P7. Decent start actually, to be fair. Down to turn 1, we've got Pedreño on our right trying to challenge up the inside. I leave plenty of space just to make sure we have racing room. Down to turn 3 there, we get a bit of contact and a bit of a nudge as we try to get forced off. Luckily we keep it on the island and manage to make a move around the outside. Inside through turn 3, we get a massive oversteer moment there on the exit, but luckily we hold on, and down into turn 4 or 5 I believe, into the hairpin. I think we're just about going to get ahead of Pedreño here, or maybe not. It's side by side still, wheel to wheel into the fast stuff. I'm going to try and hang on, but Pedreño just makes it, and I have to let go. We do get a lovely cutback though out of there. As you can see, oversteer, constantly fighting the car. We've managed to draw alongside, and that is going to give us the inside line into the double right-hander, which plunges downhill. Lovely on the apex, great drive and traction, and we make the move up into P7 once again. Up ahead of us, Dylan Warren on the mediums, and it's important that we try to pass as many medium runners as possible because we are on the softs, so it's important to push. Up front, Jarno Otmir has got into the race lead on softs, and he's trying to drop everyone and do the Lucas Blakely strat from esports, which is just pull away, drop the DRS, and just try to drive as fast as possible. I tried to have a look at Warren here, but I realised I wasn't going to get close enough because of the battery, so I decided against it. In hindsight, I wish I'd committed because you can see Luke Smith ahead, getting aggressive, making moves here with Eduardo Leo in the Mercedes. Down to turn 3, we're going to try to set up a cutback on Dylan, but we don't quite manage to achieve that. And we now come to lap 3, DRS now enabled. You can see Luke Smith pushing on the softs as we try to put some pressure on Dylan and also Leo as well. If I can pass both of these guys, we're looking pretty decent in this race. We've got Pedreño behind on the softs as well, as we have a bit of a moment and get a warning for track limits as a consequence of that. So not ideal. Getting a warning this early is probably not what you want. But yeah, on to lap number 8 now. Not much happened. I wasn't quite able to make a move on Dylan, and at this point now the softs were starting to just drop off a little bit, and it kind of changed. Now I was struggling to hang on, and actually Pedreño caught me off guard here. I didn't even see him trying to overtake.
Finding it hard to charge the battery up, man. Jesus. Front left is on fire.
We're approaching the pit window. You'll be on the hards.
Off we go, mate.
And I was surprised. On the exit of the final corner, the gap was like half a second, and then I looked at my chat one moment, and then Pedreño suddenly got through. So, fair play. I let him go. I wasn't going to, you know, delay or waste time battling because it's important that we stay in the DRS train, to be honest. So, we'll let Pedreño go. Clearly he has more pace, so you can do what you want, mate. I'm not going to hold you up too much because, again, I've not practiced and my race pace isn't all there, to be honest with you. And also, we're trying to not overheat the softs. That's kind of the key thing here in this race. But yeah, lap number 10 now. Tyres starting to go a little bit. Jarno flying out front, to be fair. He's got the gap you can see on the minimap in the bottom left. He's started to pull away now, but he's not that far from us, to be fair.
Yeah, Pedreño's completely drained himself out of battery. If I can just have a decent lap and get close, I'll pass him.
Box this lap.
Hello Ben, how you doing, mate? How you doing, fella? A wild wallaby has appeared. To be fair, it does feel a bit mad, like Jarno is the leading Mercedes and that dot on the map, he's only like a couple of seconds up the road, and I've not even practiced for this race. I'm not even that far off.
I just had a bit of a moment there as Mr. Tim Marduk joined my live chat on Twitch. You know, Pedreño's run out of battery, so we do have the upper hand on that front. We've got quite a bit of charge still. And just kind of, you know, reminding myself, you know, Jarno was not a country mile away, to be fair. The South not practice, so I felt quite good about myself with that one. But Jarno has pit now, end of lap 11, quite early actually, but he's defending the undercut and he wants clean air to keep pushing, which is understandable.
I followed Pedreño there. I might not have got that.
And as you can see, not for the first time, I follow a car into a corner, and if they get the line wrong, I tend to follow them into that mistake. So we get a second warning, which is quite tricky now to come back from. Pedreño pits, I'm going to follow him in, and we're going to go for the mediums.
WOR on YouTube, WOR Online Racing. Yeah, Jarno's in medium, so we're going to box medium.
Exit now.
Right, let's crack on. Let's do this. Important to stay within Pedreño's DRS here.
So there we go, back on the way, mediums on the car, and we're currently P17 and last, as a few cars have retired, including our teammate Samuel Bean. And yeah, all we've got to do now is make sure we stay within a second of Pedreño, possibly catch up to Luke Smith and just start to reform that DRS train, but potentially undercutting a bit the cars ahead of us on softs. Anyway, all the way to lap 14 now.
Okay, we're all back in the train. Exactly what we wanted. Pedreño's out of battery, he's going to stay like that for the rest of the race, so this is going well at the minute.
So yeah, Pedreño's out of battery again, trying to get back in the train as we form in line.
Luke Smith out of battery as well.
And you can hear there also Luke out of battery, and we all tried to hang on to Jake Benham in the McLaren, but he was just so fast, he completely dropped everyone. So it's just us three at the back right now. Pedreño with a 3-second penalty, so we'll gain a place at the end of the race if it stays as it is right now.
Literally impossible to charge up the battery, man. Fucking hell. Shanaka Clay's going to be one to watch out for on the alt strap. He's going to be fast.
Check your MFD for a new strategy option.
There we go. Some guys on the alt strap.
And finally now, some guys on the alt strat are pitting. So we're going to see how this works out because
Okay, copy that.
the alt strat is faster around here. You don't usually get the traditional strategy to go faster unless you're Jarno and pull away out front and drop the DRS. Or like Lucas in esports.
I can work with that. But we're going to have to start making some moves.
Now you can hear me say, we need to make some moves because at the moment I'm the last car on the regular strategy. So we need to put some cars behind us so that we're not the first one to get overtaken. But unfortunately, we get our final warning. We have a small little correction mid-corner which just takes me offline. And we pick up another warning which takes us onto a 3-second time penalty now. So a bit annoying, nail in the coffin. Those things happen when you don't practice. It's just a reality. But anyway, more cars have hit on the alt strat. So we're now back up to P11. And like I said, I'm trying to change my approach here. So what we want to do is try to put at least Luke and Ruben behind us because they're on the same strategy. So we need to try and make some progress here to catch up. The issue is I just don't have the pace. And you can see now Eduardo Leo is behind us within DRS as we have more cars on the alt strat in the pit lane. So we're now up to P8. There is Shanaka Clay. He's just rejoined ahead of all of us on the medium, so he's going to have a nice bit of clean air to push into, and he's going to be Jarno's main threat. But yeah, on to lap 21 now. Leo a lot faster, Dylan Warren as well behind, not too far away, and you can see here with the DRS, there's no point defending because the softs are so much faster at this stage. We'll just try to use Leo as an opportunity to try and pass the cars ahead on medium. So Leo goes by, he's out of battery as well, worth noting. I've still got a fair bit of charge left over. I'm trying to keep my ERS back for later on because we're going to need it. And it's going to come into effect later on when we're battling the cars on mediums. Dylan Moore, though, you can see Leo was getting away, so he didn't want to let him get by. And you can see here he's actually going to use all of his battery to just send one up the inside here, which surprised me a little bit. But again, desperation, when you're hungry to win, I can understand it.
A little bit desperate, but whatever, we'll let him go.
So again, we don't defend, we let Warren go by and let him chase after Eduardo Leo. You never know, there could be a crash, there could be something that happens. Always got to keep those hopes up. But instead, actually, Luke Smith tried to battle really hard with Dylan. And this is going to cost everybody involved time. So you can see here, these two are just swapping places all the time. And Pedreño has a moment getting distracted by the battle. He loses the back, and that gives me the invitation. And this is what I mean now. We get to use our battery because we've got a chance to get back ahead of Pedreño. This is for position because we both have 3-second time penalties. So this is going to be very, very key as we drag race down towards turn 1. I know I've got more battery than him, so I can afford to use it. And you can see here we get ahead as Luke and Ruben run out of battery. I'm going to use this opportunity now to get the run into turn number 3. Coming up the inside of Luke Smith, up the inside, there's contact on the curb. We go for a spin.
Why do people turn in under braking all the time? Happens every time.
And you can see me there, really frustrated as we have contact, have a half spin. Watch your back, give me your thoughts in the comments. I do think there's more blame on Luke's side, but the more I look at it, the more I should have just not gone for that. I'm not going to report it because it doesn't really interest me. I'm not really going to gain anything from that, to be honest. I'm already P10 and I've got faster cars behind than softs. And you know how this race is going to go. I'm going to, try to push on. I never retire from races. It's just not what I do. I just don't like it. But John Evans and Joe Hannon get by on their soft tyres, and we've got more soft runners behind in the form of Dormeyer and Ozilderim. Dormeyer, I believe, actually crashed out, and now it's actually Desilewski and Ozilderim who are going to get by as the Alpine goes by first. And I don't think Antoine should be too far behind in the Aston Martin, so we're going to head on to the next lap now. And you can see through the downhill section,
we have 5 laps of fuel remaining.
Oh shit.
Ulas actually loses the car. Yellow flag.
Safety car.
I'm asking for a safety car because this might just give us a chance at points, but we're not going to get one.
Ah, damn it.
And unfortunately, the race resumes, and now Antoine actually caught me off guard there. I didn't think he'd go for the move into the final corner. I thought he'd wait to the straight, but he caught me off guard. I wasn't even actually looking, to be fair. I was looking at my chat at the time, or at my tyre temps, and I didn't realise. But now Perini is also coming by using the fact that Antoine made the move. Both Frenchmen going at it into turn 1. We get the cutback and the inside line. We're going to try and fight back here up the inside. This time, no contact made. We get the space to make the battle work as we lose out on the uphill section. Now down towards turn 5. We're going to try and fight back here with the battery that we have. Contact though as Perini moves across, under braking.
Was it people moving across today at the last minute? Oh, I give up, honestly. People just don't know how to drive.
And similar to Luke Smith, just, you know, 2 moves under braking or like right at the last minute when it's too late. And yeah, it pretty much just put an end to our race. Obviously the penalty didn't help. Jana wins it as we make our way through the final corner. And yeah, frustrating, but decent pace to be fair.
Well, exactly as I predicted.
Caution.
Decent race, decent pace, but I knew that a penalty would let me down. Obviously there was more stuff that let me down as well, but still.
There was the summary. What I expected, to be honest, going into it, and it more or less happened. We finished P13. Yeah, bit of a shame. In the end, the penalty made no difference because of the spins and the incidents, but it just goes to show, man, fine margins. I think if I'd practiced for this, I could have actually had some decent pace. My setup was pretty good, and I do think, in hindsight, if I'd been a bit more aggressive at the start and tried to get Warren, and you know, it could have been a better race. But even then, after the pit stops, you know, running behind Pedreño and Luke Smith, if I'd been a bit more aggressive then and made my move on Luke Smith count, it could have been a decent race. I mean, Luke finished P6 with a 3-second time penalty, so it could have been a great race for us. But still, it is what it is. Jana wins it, and we're going to finish in P13. So there's a lot for the race results. We're now going to look at the standings because I'm just kind of, you know, debating what my end of season goals is going to be. And I think for Abu Dhabi, Imola and Brazil, I think if we can score like an average of 7 points in each race, that would be nice. 6, 7, 8 points. You know, I think 7 would be nice because that would give us 21 points, which would put us on 57, and that would be P5 in the championship. So I wouldn't mind that, to be fair. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Hopefully we can fight back in the remaining races. But that's it from me here today, guys, for the Portuguese Grand Prix. If you enjoyed it, leave a like, subscribe for more for daily F1 content, as always, on my channel, and weekly league racing content. As always, a shout out to the channel members, and finally check out the 2 videos on screen if you haven't seen them. But that is it from me here today, and I'll see all of you in the next one.